We got a nice little stack today. Comics to review. Some ashcans, some regular ones. See if I can remember them all. Some of these I read before, right before I started doing the free comic book day ones. So I gotta try and reopen my brain. See if I can remember this. Starting out, we got some Halloween Comic Fest stuff from the past that people gave us, and some that we came across on free comic book day that are in here that you'll be seeing. But we got Kid Diaries Walking Dad, done by Fred Perry and David Hutchison. Fred Perry, I've enjoyed his work before. But yeah, this is basically just going on about this zombie kid's life. It's in prose format. It's a fun story, just learning what he goes through, trying to figure out what he's got to eat and all that stuff. Growing up as a zombie kid, trying to live in a normal kid world. Got some fun little things that they play with. So if you like the zombie aspect of things, you'd probably enjoy that. And we got Bitten, which is done by Cornelia Funk and Raul Garcia. Illustrated by Francisco Herrera and colors by Fernando Rizzo. Okay, that Cornelia Funk is who the book was based on, Young Werewolf. This gives you basically what's the werewolf, Teen Wolf movie? It's basically that feel to this storyline. Kid just dealing with, and we got a kid dealing with zombie life in a normal kid world, and here we got a kid dealing with werewolf life in a normal kid world. And yeah, it just definitely has that Teen Wolf parody feel to it, but it was a fun story. I'd definitely check out more of those. Then we got Lunch Witch, Knee Deep in Niceness by Deb Luck. Or Lou. And this is a lunch lady who just so happens to be a witch. And she's always doing all kinds of things to cause trouble, like walking underneath ladders and doing anything that would superstitious people would do the opposite in. But while we're seeing her go off to work one day, we're seeing her make the lunch for the day, and it's pretty nasty how she whips up a certain style of chili. And then we get to see some other characters that happen to be part of the lunch witch world. A talking bat, a talking dog, a talking spider. Like, yeah, this is interesting. She's evil. Definitely evil. She doesn't hide nothing. Other than maybe her witch personality, but yeah, she's definitely an evil lady. We got Cosmic Ghost Rider. We finally got issue 4 and 5 to finish off the series. Nice. I ended up getting 3, 4, and 5, but then I found out I already had number 3. But yeah, I really like this storyline, seeing Frank as the Ghost Rider and hear this part of the story. I don't remember completely what happened in the first 3 issues, but at this point, Frank and the Ghost Rider have a bunch of problems. So some characters split them in 2, separate them, and then we see other Ghost Rider stuff happen, and it's like they end up battling off between each other. Just, yeah, it was fun seeing him in this visual, this style of character. I definitely read a lot more of this. Other than you're gonna go mythical, go goofy with Ghost Rider Punisher. Go this route. That's the way to do it. Not the way they're doing it with the new Punisher run. I like that a lot better. That I could totally get on board for ongoing storyline with that one. And that, who did that? It was done by, no, that's not a name that's popping out. Come on, cover. Separate yourself. What the heck? I want to open up. Stephanie Phillips, Gayu Villanova, and Kai Diaz. And then VC's Travis Lanham worked on that one. And they do have a synopsis in here. I suppose I could read to give you the basics where the storyline was at by this part. It says issue. No, that's issue 5. Let's see if there's a. Okay, now I got everything. See if issue 4 has one in it. Frank Castle was living off the grid on an alien world, working at a tavern. Oh yeah, that's right. He was working at a bar, and then the gal came in, and all kinds of stuff happened. But it's a tavern run by Marlowe and his daughter, Axel. But this fragile peace was violently interrupted by the bounty hunter Monarch Starstalker. And Frank was forced to transform into Cosmic Ghost Rider once more, but was unable to prevent Marlowe's death before fleeing with Axel. So that's what happened. Then all this happened where they had to split the Ghost Rider and stuff. But yeah, I completely forgot that it started out with Frank and his hanging out with his daughter at her bar, her friend's bar. I can't remember who owns it. And then all this stuff happening and him not wanting to go back to the Cosmic Ghost Rider world, but ends up doing it. Anyways, because he has to. He gets forced into it, of course. We got Scott Snyder presents Dark Spaces. In this story, we get a Wildfire story by Scott Snyder, Hayden Sherman, and World Design. We get a Good Deed story with Kelsey Ramsaris, Chi Grayson, Rhonda Pattison, and Russ Wooten. We get the Hollywood special with Jeremy Lambert, Claire Rowe, Jordy Belair, and Becky Carey. And then a 4-story Dungeon by Scott Snyder and Hayden Sherman and Patricio Delpech. And World Design. These stories were quick. And they're rough. And it's not that thick of a book, so you're looking at about 4 to 6 pages per story. But first one starts out with a wildfire storyline where you got the firefighters out dealing with the wildfires, and they get trapped in some stuff, and they have to work their way out of it. And it was interesting. It takes me back to Montana, the firefighter days, just watching those guys and gals deal with all that crap every spring. And then we get the next story that takes us again into the woods, and we end up seeing some issues with a dream that won't go away for this gal. And while researching stuff, it takes her back to some some things from the past in St. Augustine, Peoria, that she has to research some stuff to find something she's needing for her quest. The Hollywood special. That one, I believe, is like a movie star basis, kind of like a Marilyn Monroe type storyline and the struggles of relationships in Hollywood. And then the last story takes us kind of to a zombie, kind of a very strange. We got this zombie faceless gal that kind of makes her way out of a hole in the woods And then it goes to a scene of a kid with his frog in his bedroom. No idea where that's taking us, but this is the Hollywood Special by Scott Snyder and Dark Spaces, where Golden Age Hollywood glamour meets supernatural horror in this deeply terrifying and dazzling original comic. Hollywood Special is easily one of... Oh, that's Scott Snyder talking about that story, but the story basis, what he thinks of it. But yeah, 4 stories. I don't know if they're all going to combine in the same world or not, but they all had their own little different aspects to them. Didn't really feel like they all connected. I was very confused by some of them. But then we got Hallows Eve, the Big Night, issue 1. Oh, I got another synopsis. Hallows Eve has been planning to break her boyfriend, Ben Riley, aka Chasm, out of his prison in the Limbo Embassy. A recent attempt to spring him was somewhat accidentally thwarted by Chasm's progenitor, Spider-Man, and more intentionally so by the ruler of Limbo, Madeline Pryor. Now Eve's back at the drawing board, which means figuring out just what her masks are capable of. It's done by Erica Schultz, Brian Reber, Michael Dowling, and VC's Joe Caramagna. But yeah, this is fun seeing her. Basically, it's Halloween, and she gets this interesting little gift and has to... Well, these kids get this interesting... I guess the one kid went and bought it somewhere or found it. He gets this nasty finger, and they do a seance type thing. While they do that, she's off dealing with going around trying to get to where she's going while it happens to be on Halloween, and something happens that affects her, and she has to deal with what's going on. And at the same time, we get to see her try on different masks, and she finds some masks that just so happen that she didn't really plan on having. It happened to be certain. I'm not going to give them away, but it's funny because anytime she puts the masks on, she transforms into that character and gets a little bit of that character's abilities and stuff. And in here we get a couple fun Marvel characters that she happens to have masks for that she turns into, and it's fun watching what all happens along the way and what other characters appear in here. Some very strange, goofy characters that I'd like to know more about. I'd like to see like kind of blobbish and stuff like that and see what kind of characters they're like. This one is the one I read the longest ago. I know I enjoyed it, but Maui Mighty Comics Collector's Edition Special. This was a comic that everybody should have bought because the proceeds, I don't know how much of the proceeds, but a good amount of the proceeds were used to help the people in Maui that ended up having their village basically wiped out by wildfire. Let's see if they mention how they're doing this. They got a big write-up in the beginning explaining everything, giving you the contents and all that. The proceeds will benefit Lahaina and Maui, the Lahaina and Maui tragedy. They're partnering, I can't speak, partnering with Direct Relief, directrelief.org to get the money where it needs to be, even after all these months since the catastrophe. So it was nice. I didn't care what the stories were based off of, just because it was one of those comics that help everybody out, and you can sit there and donate by still getting something that you can enjoy. Starts out with Mr. Mix-It, the Dreamweaver. A little Spider-Man, Savage type character mix up here. It's got a variety of different characters combined in it. I'm about to sneeze. When aspiring comic book artist Barry Baxter discovers an old and very mysterious comic book spinner rack, his world will never be the same again as he becomes an amazing new superhero with incredible powers. This is by creators Roger McKenzie, Steve Butler, and Mort Todd. And yeah, this character was really fun. He just basically comes across this comic book spinner rack, and when he does so, it kind of like spins away on him, and all the comics in the spinner rack kind of throw powers at him and give him the abilities of all those different characters from the comic rack, which is fun. It's like I'm kind of curious if this character will be able to use the rack each time he wants to change up things, maybe put new comics in there, have new abilities. I don't know. That would be really fun if they go that route. But yeah, we'll see what the Mr. Mix-It storylines end up being, because I will definitely, if they bring out an ongoing for that one, I will definitely be checking it out. Then we got the Captain Mercury story, where a strange visitor from another planet with weird abilities and a notion that he knows better than humans how to run Earth. Originally published in Charlton Comics Space Adventures number 44. This is by Joe Gill, Roque Mastro Sirio, and Mort Todd. And yeah, it's gives you that Captain Planet style feel to the character and stuff, and dealing with trying to get rid of war on the planets, make the world safe, and by doing so, of course, other things happen, and he's just trying to become the peacemaker. And then once we have peace, then what are we gonna do? Because everybody's gonna be so bored with life. That's the only thing we know is going to war. So yeah, can never get along. And we got Miss Molecule. When an ill young girl goes through an experimental therapy, she recovers fully. The only side effect is that she shrinks to microscopic size. This is a really fun story too. And all these, now that I'm remembering what I read, yeah, this is a blast. I like the way they did this one. It's done by Renee King Thompson and Sandy Carruthers. But our gal is a doctor that can be shrunk down, and she works with doctors at least. I think she's got to have some type of medical background because of her knowledge of the internal organs and all that stuff. When she's in a certain body that they're trying to fix, there's another character that's just so happens to be doing damage in the body. So she chases after him, and we get to see what happens. But when she's normal sized and in normal life, she's dealing with having cancer, and she's in a wheelchair and struggling to get around. But when she shrinks way down, so does her cancer, and it gives her ability to do more stuff. And yeah, it was a really fun twist on things the way they did this, with her giving her that Ant-Man style character feel, and but taking it to a field where she can actually help people and go inside bodies and cure people of diseases that they're dealing with, their unclogged arteries or whatever she has to do. But then we get Yang, Sea of Blood. Honor demanded that he die. Legend said he must live. Ancient East meets Wild West as the story of the Charlton Comics Kung Fu star Yang comes full circle by Roger McKenzie and Ben Torres. But yeah, this one takes us way back in time. We get kind of like a black, white, and red, black, white, and blood style comic line. We're dealing with sailing ship and kind of a Ming the Merciless style evil character that is on this ship, and all kinds of people end up dying because of some things that are happening. There just happens to be some shape shifting things going on and stuff. But our martial arts character tries to protect everybody from a dragon that they have to battle. And they're out in the open seas, so you can imagine what's going to happen if a dragon does any damage to their ship and stuff. So, but yeah, and you get to find out why people are dying and what's up with the Ming the Merciless looking character. Just reminds me so much of Ming from Flash Gordon. That is, if you don't know who I'm talking about. Mr. Mix-It Reflections is our final story, which Mixie's first foe may be his last. Sometimes dreams do come true, as well as nightmares. Enter Deathstone, another epic installment of the sensational new superhero, Mr. Mix-It by Roger McKenzie and Stephen Butler and Mort Todd. I didn't realize we had two Mr. Mix-It style stories in here. But yeah, this one, we got more cartoony style visuals with this. And he's just showing off for some kids, helping them out with their kites. Awesome, a bunch of stuff happens. Oh, no. That was a bonus story. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was just a little 2-page story where he's helping out with the kites, and then a bunch of things happen. But then we get into the second Mr. Mixer story. And that takes us to the big city where there's a traffic incident with some like robber type characters that Mr. Mixes notices and then chases after. And while he's chasing after him, they're trying to take him out. There's something that happens that transforms our Mr. Mix-It character back to his natural form. And then we end up going back to this weird world thing and finding out some more stuff about the history of our character and stuff. Yeah, this is fun. I don't want to give away the interesting creature at the end of it, but yeah, it helped out with the Maui incident, so I picked it up, and I'm very glad I did. Kind of should have been a club pick for Crimson Color Comic Club. I would have thought everybody would have picked that one up, because I did mention that it was to help out the Maui incident. But I think I ended up being the only one that sadly did pick it up. I'm guessing, because I haven't heard anybody else talking about it or mention that they were going to review it on the club. So I think I might have been the only one. But definitely worth it. I like those books. I hate that they're because of something like the 9/11 books that I picked up. Katie also reviewed them on Crimson Color Club that she picked once she picked them up. But yeah, a lot of those have very strong storylines, even though they're about a shitty situation that happened. This one doesn't focus on the shitty stuff that happened. It focuses on just whatever they wanted to do for stories, but whereas the 9/11 one focused on the whole 9/11 incident. Stuff I can't, my brain's not letting me think. I know I got like 2 other comics that I bought that were to help events that happened, but I can't remember what they were. We got Origin 1, Boichi, another Tricker Read book. It's also got PTSD Radio. From the artist behind the hit manga and anime Dr. Stone comes another genre-busting action thriller. I did not understand either one of these. Well, for starters, I wasn't sure what was going on. It didn't feel like manga to me, so I ended up reading it backwards to start with, and then I had to reread it forward. But it's like, we got some. I can show this first. We got some people that break into this giant warehouse type thing, and there's a bag sitting in the middle, and they're like, that's what we asked for. That's the money and all the stuff that whatever they asked for, and they all go running after it. When they go running after it to get the bag, just so happens that they have to deal with an entity that just happens to be in there. And she's got some interesting little gunplay going on, messing with them, taking out the characters that are trying to get in here, and they find out she's kind of robotic. So you got this robotic enforcer that's kind of like I don't know. I don't even want to show these pictures. I don't even know if I should. Nah, I'm not gonna. She gets pretty messed up. Body part stuff get totally damaged. Didn't understand what was going on with that. And they do have a little thing in here about a cyberpunk thriller, the origin one, giving you a little history of it and stuff. Yeah, it must have some type of. It's a robotic prototype who hasn't quite grasped emotion, just wants to fit into human society when he's not on the hunt to destroy his more murderous counterparts. Act with bloody action and labyrinth. Sci-fi mystery reminiscence of Battle Angel Alita and the Ghost in the Shell. So, yeah, I didn't really get that one. And then we get another very strange story. I could have swore this one had a couple kids that were trying to figure out that and just dealing with it's kind of got a vampire. And this galaxy is sitting with someone, but she's not sitting with them. Some demonic things are happening. I just don't understand what was up with this train ride because you see her sitting next to this person, but then she glances at the window, doesn't see an image of the character, so I'm instantly thinking vampire style story. I'm not going to show the last image of the character itself, but the character turns really goofy. I did not understand any of that storyline. It just was so weird. And of course, reading it backwards to start with, and reading it the right way. That didn't help. I thought, okay, I'm totally confused after reading it the wrong way. Read them both the right way. I was just as lost. My coffee in my very, very old coffee cup that I don't want to let go. One of my favorite places and memories in Montana. All right, we got Pop's Shop of Horrors. Number one, fresh meat. These are awesome. I love the Archie horror line, but these Pops ones are really fun because, of course, they get into cannibalism and stuff like that. But our first story is Lord of the Fries. And yeah, I'll give you the synopsis off the back, but it's got basically parodying some fun things we know. But Pop's Chocolate Shop has been around for what feels like forever. But how? In this thrilling horror anthology, sorry, my coffee's starting to get cold. Um, in this thrilling horror anthology, we learn just how Pop's infamous malt shop came to harbor such evils and the cursed deals he makes to ensure his doors always stay open. From the full creative team that brought you last year's successful Pop's Chocolate Shop of Horrors, we learn the nefarious origin of the beloved hometown haunt with stories filled with shady business deals, carnivorous plants, and the horrors of small business ownership. We got the talents of Amy Chase, Federico Sabatini, Ryan Cady, Chris Panda, Jordan Morris, Liana Congas, Ellie Wright, and Jack Morelli. First story is a parody off of Little shop of horrors. And it's fun just seeing how the plant grabs hold of Archie, wants to eat Archie, and makes a deal with Jughead. So you either take care of me, or I'm gonna take care of your little friend. And then we find out that Pops just so happens to have someone that he made some deals with in the past, possibly, or someone that knows someone he's made deals with in the past. And we get a history lesson on a character that just so happens to be from Pop's past. Well, someone that's basically trying to get Pop to do something, and Pop's not going to do it. He doesn't want to do it. And in order to deal with it, he's got to deal with this character. And in order to deal with this character, he makes more deals with other characters, and it's just, yeah. Then we get to, it plays into some stuff. We get a history lessons, some art lessons and stuff, tales of how Pop came to be, and it was very well done. This is probably my favorite one of the two, but yeah, they're both great stories. Uh, I can't say that. I can't really have favoritism for them. I like them both. They were really, both of them had great stories in them that were lots of fun. Oh, that tastes so good. It's like this cup. I used to say like Happy's in and stuff. But that logo washed off a long time ago. I've probably eaten so much of that plastic. That's probably what's killing me off. Got Santos Sisters, issue 6. Yeah. These are a blast if you like more adult style Archie horror. Not Archie horror. Archie style comics. Santos Sisters is a great payoff at. But they start out with a couple characters breaking out of like a prison environment. The Santos Sisters have to go off to deal with them, and get to see them while they find out about what's going on because the power goes out because these two characters that escaped wipe out the power, and Santos Sisters and their little boyfriend were getting ready to watch their weekly movie night and stuff, and they're all ready with all their munchies, and the power went out, so they went to see what happened. And that's how they find out about these characters that escaped from where they escaped. And then we get a story where a cleaning lady gets bitten by a scorpion. It's the name of the next story. I love how they basically give away what happens in the storyline. I should also mention these are done by Greg and Fake, which we've been running into the creators at a few different events between me and Anthony. And this second story, our cleaning lady for these two guys gets left alone while they go off to get some supplies that they want to pick up. And while she's alone, she comes across a scorpion, and that scorpion ends up doing something to her, and she ends up turning into a scorpion lady. So just imagine how not happy she is, and it's pretty messed up what these guys do to her when they find her at home, knocked out from the scorpion. But then we got all the wonderful advertisements in here. They allow the past couple issues, they allowed people to do advertisements in it. We get a teaser of American Nature, which is a Santos Sisters style book coming out here this year. I'm looking forward to seeing that. And then we got Amber and Dirk in HGTV, where we got some Dirk doing some house remodeling for the girls. And there just so happens to be someone that's into breaking into house remodels and stealing the copper, which was a big thing for a long time. They have a little copper theft uh, thing in there to help with Protecting Your Copper. And then in the smaller advertisements, we did a Crimson Color Comic Club advertisement where Anthony drew up all of us characters, gave us a cartoony version of all our characters on his advertisement. And then I got my Jughead style picture I threw in there in this issue, since it is has that Archie style feel to it. This comic book, so I decided to do that one. And then we got What Time Is It? 10 o'clock. Storyline where we get this kid that's out looking for a new vehicle and comes across this car salesman that just so happens to be like an old rapper that has like a metal jaw, has tattoos all over his face and stuff. And he's just trying to con this kid into spending more money on a vehicle than planned. And in order to make some extra cash so he can afford a vehicle, this guy tries and sets him up with some side jobs delivering some things. But who knows what he's delivering? Because he can't open it up and look inside. He's just supposed to deliver the stuff, no questions asked. So you can imagine what's going on there. Then our final one is Savage Amazement, which is Art Baltazar's second book. The first one was called, I believe, Art Baltazar's Bazaar. And it basically has tons of his sketch work, artwork that he's done, little cards that he's done, paintings he's done and stuff. I own a couple things in here that I've seen. Now that I'm going through this second or third time, I'm noticing other stuff. Some things that I wanted to buy, but I got outbid on. Like I tried to get the Rhino card and stuff like that. But yeah, some of these things that are in here I own. Some of the things Anthony from Crimson Color Comic Club bought. So it's always nice to see. There's this Madman, and it's Back to the Future one that Anthony got. The Mumra character I love. I never seen him do that Walking Dead cover print, but I want that now. I see that. But yeah, you gotta get this for yourself so you can see all the wonderful artwork that he does. And there's our little famous cartoonist pictured in the back, and with his setting up at a stand. C2E2 2023 when he was set up. But yeah, I love these. I love the way he keeps track, kind of like a lot of artists will sell everything, get rid of everything, throw out a lot of stuff, and it's always best to just document everything you can. So in case in the future you want to use it again, you got it. And Art does. This is a wonderful way that he does this. I was surprised that he changed the name. I'm guessing he's going with different types of collaborations that he'll give it different names that kind of connect to some of the inside artwork, but I thought he'd keep it Art Baltazar's Bazaar. Art Baltazar Bazaar. Art Baltazar Bazaar. I can't think of the goofy song, but I think that's all the words are. But I will shut up now so I can finish my coffee in peace. Let you guys be in peace, having your own drinks of your choice. And keep following Under the Cowl of MS. Check out Crimson Color Comic Club. Like, subscribe, comment, do whatever you can to get us a few more clicks. It helps in the long run, and then maybe someday we'll be recognized by enough people to actually be worth it. But Until then, I will keep putting stuff out if you keep watching it. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.